Okay, a few episodes ago I was discussing with everyone food sources, and we were talking about the Hawthorne apple trees, and I did go back in. I did find some, so we'll show you a picture of that. Okay, I was talking about the hawthorns. That was deer and turkey coming in here, and this is what some of the fruit looks like right here. Obviously these are dried. It's like really small apples. They feed on these, so there's some of these left, so the turkeys can be feeding on these for winter forage, just like the deer. So this would be an area where we could target also. For pre-season scouting, focus on those winter food sources. And what I did was I came over here and you got this red oak here, and what we're going to do is we just dug underneath these leaves, and as you can see, started finding acorns, and that's what the turkeys are going to be eating. So focus your efforts early season scouting, and for opening day, unless you get a early spring and you've got a really quick green up, more than likely they're still going to be on those winter food sources. If you do that, I think you'll have some really good success on opening day. So we're just going to walk through here, look for some more food sources. The other thing that I wanted to mention also is, it's not that you're just finding this stuff sporadically through the woods. Right there's a red oak tree. So go to those red oaks, chestnut oaks, whatever oak is predominant in your area, and you'll probably find some scratch sign, probably find some droppings. And that's going to put you on the road to being successful on opening morning when turkey season rolls around. So once again, focus on those winter food sources. A couple things too is in our future episodes, we want to talk about shotguns, and we want to talk about shotgun patterning your shotgun, and actually making the shot. You need to practice and need to know what the performance of your gun is out to 30, 40 yards. I don't know that I would recommend shooting a turkey at 50, even though there's some 3.5 inch loads that probably have that range. I would probably stay 40 and under. But we want to talk about shotgun patterning, and we want to talk about actually making the shot. There's a big difference between making a shot at the range and you're just nice and relaxed, you got a bench and got you a bottle of water there and you're not nervous. But making the shot while you're under pressure for when the bird comes in and you got the adrenaline pumping and your heart's pumping really fast and your pulse rate's fast, that's when it's the most critical. So we can do all this scouting and locate the birds, get on the birds, work on our calling and call them in, but then when they get in range, the single most important thing is the shot. So in the next few episodes, we're going to be talking about shotgun patterning and actually making the shot. Okay, sun's just now coming over the mountains. You can see over there where it's starting to hit the ridge tops. If I swing the camera back this way, you can see this steep mountain over here. It's just starting to come over top of that on the east side. But what I wanted to show you was, I'm in here doing this food source video, and look at the fresh scratching here. That's quite a bit. So the turkeys are scratching underneath all this stuff, and they're finding acorns and stuff like that to eat. So here's more evidence. And this scratch sign goes all the way through here. They've been in here really good, within the last couple of days. But this just reaffirms the fact that early turkey season, try to focus on those winter foods, those winter food sources, and I think you'll be in business. You'll have some luck. I just videoed this sunrise over here, and on this south facing slope I want to show you something, but before I do, let's look around, and you can see it's still relatively brown at a distance. But if you get down and start scratching at a turkey's level, look at all this green stuff here that's coming up. Oh, there's some more right there. This young green growth that's coming up. And like I said before, they're feeding on those acorns that were left over. But when they scratch around, they can feed on this young growth also. So even though it may not appear that the green up is happening, you know, we got a little bit of grass growing here, and there's even more new growth. So even though it may appear that the green up is not happening, you got to remember there's more things that affect the green up than just air temperature. It's actually the ground temperature. So as the ground temperature warms up and the length of the sunlight, you know, increases, especially on these south-facing slopes, you're going to start having a lot of this young growth come up, and that's going to be excellent food sources for the turkeys. So I bet, you know, if we walked over that way, we could probably find some more evidence. So we'll just ease over there. So yeah, let's go over here another 20 yards. Nice little intersection here. And you know, focus on those areas that you've hunted turkeys before and had success. But if you're in a new area, and we'll talk about mapping. I know on episode 5 we talked a little bit about mapping, but not much. But in reality, you need to devote an entire show to mapping, because you got to understand the topographical lines, the legend, things like that. But look at your mapping, look at those areas, and when you go in and scout, look for those winter food sources. And then once you start getting this green up, like we're seeing now, yeah, look at all this. All this stuff here, this is coming up. You know, turkeys are omnivorous, so they basically eat anything that runs, jumps, hops, insects that fly, you know, seeds, berries, vegetation. They pretty much eat everything. So be looking for that. And I'll put you way ahead of the curve for opening day of turkey season. All right, we moved to a finger ridge. It's coming off that main ridge there. This area gets a tremendous amount of sun as well. And you can see you got this green growth coming up. These small plants right here coming up. If you look around, you'll find stuff like that. Looks like we got a deer bed here too. See the hair in it. Even though we're turkey hunting or turkey scouting, you know, season's about 2 weeks away here in my state. And it doesn't hurt to look for deer sign either. So you can still remember all these areas you went in. Wow, look at all the green down there. There's green up around the creek. Well, actually there's a spring coming out, and that spring will feed the creek on down below it. Another creek, but there's a lot of green in this area. So this wouldn't be a bad area either, potentially set up on, because over the top of that ridge is where all those red oaks are, and there's a tremendous amount of mass crop up there, so the birds have got plenty to feed on. All right, this was a relatively short video, but I just want to give you a few ideas on the food sources. You know, we covered the acorns. You know, everyone's familiar with acorns, whatever variety they are in your area. And I actually showed you a little short clip of those Hawthorne apples, little small apple-sized fruit that's native to my state, this part of western North Carolina that I'm in. And then, you know, looking around at the green up, just because you don't have leaves coming out and a lot of low plants and other vegetation growing doesn't mean the green up's not taking place, because it is. And you go look at your wife's flower garden, and you'll see that the bulbs and stuff that she's planted the year before, they're starting to come through the ground, okay? And they're turning green. As a matter of fact, if you live in an area where there's a lot of deer, the deer have probably already found those flower beds, unfortunately. But be conscious of all those areas. The food is a major source for turkey hunting, just like it is for deer hunting. But I'm just trying to get everyone prepared and ready to go for that opening season so you can be successful and punch that turkey tag. We'll see you next time.